Hey everyone, welcome to Aborigine Reptiles. Sorry for the late video, working on some project cages here this week and time got away from us. So we're just bringing you a quick feeding video this week, nothing too crazy. So just fair warning, this will be a snake feeding video with some frozen rodents. So if that type of video is not something you're interested in, you can either sign off of this video, or you could fast forward to the time on the bottom showing on your screen right now, and that will show you, get us to the 2 project cages we're working on. So if you'd like to do that, fair warning, do that now. Otherwise, we're going to move forward into the rodent feeding. So for those of you who know us, we largely have worked with lizards over the years, specifically Australian, obviously. That's kind of our niche. But over the years, we have started to branch out into snakes. And we are building our collection slowly, doing it a little at a time. But today we're going to feed a couple of our snakes that we've had in our care. 2 that you see here is our male and female Bredl's python. This is the Afros time Lasik hypo crosses that we obtained. So some really beautiful animals. Their colors have been amazing. Their temperament also amazing. Cannot speak enough about how great of a python these are. Great starter python, very hardy. They get a decent size, one of the larger carpet pythons out there, but definitely one of the tamest and easiest to work with. So we're going to start by feeding these guys, and then we're going to move on to our pair of womas. So what we'll do is get right over to the food. This is the setup for today. We have a large rat, a medium rat, and 2 mice. As you can see, we do put a little bit of the Arcadia calcium and mineral dust on our rats and mice. I know a lot of people think that's nuts and that you don't need to do it because these are whole animals. However, we know the breeder. We buy locally from a local rodent breeder who feeds a high quality diet and takes care of his animals. But we always want to make sure that they're getting all of those micro minerals and micronutrients that are, potentially lost along the way. So it doesn't harm the snake in any way. They eat the mice and rats with gusto, and it's definitely seen a big difference with our python since we started doing it about 6 months ago. So definitely a difference in the color, their vibrancy, their activity, just overall health. So definitely worth looking into. And if you have a little bit of that powder, nothing to work it in a little bit into the fur before you feed, or work it into the rodent food that you're feeding if you feed live. We do not feed any of our snakes live rodents here, just because we're not into watching snakes kill rodents. Also, the risk of injury far outweighs the cost savings, or just there's just not a lot of upside to it. So with that, I won't get off on a tangent. Let's start the feeding. So here we go. As you can see, these guys are ferocious feeders. Really love watching them, outside of the obvious. Just loving how that they'll hang up into their roost there, take the animal. You can see how fast that happens, and they will eat these guys fairly quickly. So really cool animal. Can't talk enough. And the cages we are currently keeping them in are these small Zoo-Med terrariums, but I'll show you at the end of this video, the 2 cages we're working on for their upgrade here in the next couple of weeks. They'll be moving on to a much bigger cage. So for now, this has worked great since they've been little, since we obtained them as hatchlings, and for the last, they're coming up on just over a year old now, so putting some size, starting to grow a little bit faster, so we want to make sure that we have the right cage for them. So yep, that's the female, and her name is Donna, for those of you who care. Let's go over to Eric. I don't know if you see the 70s show reference there. daughter's a huge That 70s Show fan, so that's where that came from. So this is Eric. Eric is about to shed. He's a little bit duller, but he is always up for food, as you can see. Again, be a quick eater and always hungry. These guys are currently feeding. All of our snakes, with the exception of some of the babies, are feeding on a 14-day schedule. So we only feed once every 14 days. The female Woma python that eats the large rat, she eats, depending on her shed schedule and her appetite, between every 14 to 21 days. We like to make sure that they don't get too obese. Womas have the bad habit of getting obese. She would eat every day if we let her. So, all right, so that's the carpet pythons, the Brettles carpets. We'll let them kind of do their thing here, and we'll move on to the Womas. All right, next we're going to move on to our male Woma python, Johnny. Just came out of a shed, as you can see, looking gorgeous. So he should definitely be hungry here. Johnny is definitely the more subtle of the Womas that we have, for sure. You'll see Moira is much more eager to eat. Johnny is a little bit more subtle. All right, so it looks like Johnny is being very subtle today. So what we'll do is we'll take his hide. We'll leave the rat there in the hide, and he'll usually come right up and kind of take it on his own time. So we'll check back with him. Sure to put our lock on there because they can be a little escape artist. All right, and then we're going to move up top here to our big girl, Moira. Moira is definitely always a hungry girl. Take out her rock ledge there and give her some room to eat. Our drat here. See if we can get her to there we go. All right, and just put her up there because again she likes to make a mess, so we like to feed them in their hide boxes just to minimize the amount of substrate they ingest while eating. So she will again make quick work of that, so we'll leave her be. As you can see, Johnny's already starting to do some inspecting, so we'll check on that. But yeah, I want to move you guys over to two cages that my father built for us for Christmas as a surprise, but they're a perfect size for our Brettle upgrade. So the Brettles, like I said, are in the small Zoo-Med cages right now since they've been babies, but they are obviously going to outgrow that very soon. So we are trying out the foam sculpted. These were just basic wood cages that, again, were made by my father, real quick and simple. And what we did is we did the styrofoam, the spray foam that you see online. So there's some large styrofoam pieces underneath. And then we did some cutouts here with the spray foam. Obviously you can see I've been shaving off and sculpting, making some very interesting topography here. And this is just phase one. Phase two, after a couple of coats of stucco, you get this. So this one's almost done. We're going to do one more coat of grout, not stucco, grout. That is, again, just your standard grout mixture. And I mix in a little bit of the cement color to get that Aboriginal orange-red color that you see here. I take this glass out so that you can see it a little bit better. And yeah, it's been really cool. So this, again, is just like the one I just showed you, except with about 2 coats of grout. As you can see, it starts to look more and more like rock all the time. Hard to the touch, but it's still very light. So we're going to do another coat of grout here, and then we will do a sealant coat after that, just to make sure to seal it up. And then we're gonna paint all of this just so it looks a lot nicer. It's not messy. But yeah, we got in an Arcadia light fixture with a nice little UVA spot, hitting around 90, 95 on the hot spot there. Cool end is running in the high, or down here is running in the high 70s, and up top's running in the 80s. So provides a really nice temperature gradient all over. As you can see, lots of nooks and crannies for those Brettles to really exercise, climb up, climb down, look all over the place, coil up, relax. This will all have bedding down here so they can retreat down underneath here for some humidity. Yeah, and I'm going to be putting probably a nice size stick right through the middle here, just again for some added climbing. So trying to replicate as much as I can in nature. We tried to make sure all of our animals are in somewhat naturalistic or interesting cages to keep them engaged and not going nuts. So we try to change things around every time we clean them for enrichment. So very excited about this. I think it's coming out really great. Very happy with it. Excited to do more of these. It is very time consuming, but as you can see, it's coming along really cool. It's very interesting, almost museum or zoo quality. So really excited to see how this comes out. And of course, we'll do updates once we move Eric and Donna into their new cages. We'll be doing lots of videos so you can see how they interact and how they like it. So more to come on that. But yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. So a quick video this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed the feeding. We fed all of our dwarf pythons already the other day, so we missed that. So we just wanted to feed a couple of the bigger pythons that we have. And yeah, more to come very soon. So like and subscribe if you guys haven't done so already, and hopefully we'll get some more videos out very soon. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.